Hey, thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Business of Fun podcast. I'm your host, Dave Wakeman. How is everybody doing? Let me know. Send me an email, dave@davewakeman.com. Tell me what's going on with you. During a global pandemic, it seems entirely reasonable that you check in with me and I check in with you. My guest today is Pierre Etter. He is the product and marketing manager from TixNGo, which is a mobile ticket wallet. And so we talk about a lot of things around digital technology, data, all kinds of great stuff. But before we get to Pierre, I want to spend a second or two just checking in with you. The pandemic continues to rage in the States. I believe yesterday we probably had 75,000 cases confirmed. That is an incredible number to imagine. And I don't know when things are going to straighten out, which is very unfortunate for all of us. But what it really does is it creates a lot of uncertainty for people, and it's a struggle for people to deal with and understand with. And so I want to make sure that you know that you can always reach out to me by sending me an email, dave@davewakeman.com. We can jump on a call, WhatsApp, whatever you want to do. You can text me. I'm good like that. Yesterday, which today is Wednesday, July 22nd, as I'm recording this introduction, I did a podcast episode that'll go out either the end of this week or the beginning of next week with a guy called Matt Wolf from Ticket Time Machine. And we talked about a lot of stuff. And I think it turned out to be a very good episode. It's going to probably, hopefully, be valuable to y'all, and it'll help you make sense of some things going forward. The bulk of the podcast now is focusing on how we move forward in the world, because it is still uncertain when events will come back. It's still uncertain when we will have the opportunity to get together again, but that doesn't mean that we can't put one foot in front of the other. I believe I've mentioned here before, I know I've mentioned it on my blog and in the Talking Tickets newsletter, that which you can get by visiting my website, davewakeman.com, about the Stockdale paradox. And this is something that Simon Mabb, the CEO of Book and Protect, made me aware of a few weeks back, which is General Stockdale was the highest ranking official who was held in the Hanoi Hilton during the Vietnam War. And after the war, they asked him if he must have been positive during the time he was held captive, and he said, no, I was not positive. I was in fact far from it, but I recognized the fact that this would end, that I would get through this, and that it would suck. And so as we continue to work through this pandemic, that is an idea that has helped me start to put one foot in front of the other, because for a few weeks it was very difficult to figure out what to do, what to focus on, how to make myself productive at all. And I'm sure I'm not alone in that sentiment, but being able to put a term to it, an idea behind the feelings that I was feeling, was very helpful. So to get back to what Matt and I were talking about yesterday, I don't believe it comes up on the podcast, but it was something that I was thinking about and had been thinking about for a while, and it's the idea of what we're trying to create here. Since the pandemic started, I put together a Slack channel for the Talking Tickets newsletter. I've done a bunch of webinars. I've done all kinds of things, and I've really been thinking a lot about the difference between these two terms. And there's a term called tribes, and there's a term that is made famous by Seth Godin's book. And I've met Seth over the years. I worked on the Stop Stealing Dreams. Did the first audio version of the Stop Stealing Dreams manifesto about education. I'm a big Seth Godin fan. If you listen to the Amy Mann episode or the Ollie Scheuer episode, I think we covered a lot about what Seth does and talks about. It's great. But as we have worked through the pandemic, one thing that's come up to me is that I think tribes have limited us. And I think that in a way, the idea of tribes has created a lot of friction and unnecessary turmoil in our in our society. And I have been thinking about community. So what I want, and the point I want to make to you today, is that I want this to be a community. So when I tell you that I hope you will reach out to me and let me know how you're doing, I hope that is true. I hope that you will have discussions and reach out to people who maybe you haven't talked to in the past and connect with people. Build a community around your ideas. Build a community around these ideas that we're sharing here. Build a community around this podcast, because I think right now what we need is not less people who see the world just the way we do, but we need more people to work together to pull the industry out of a period that's probably unlike anything at any point in the industry's history, and I know it's certainly unlike anything any of us have ever seen. So I made this point in the Talking Ticket Slack this morning. I want to see everybody engage more around a community. Communities are inclusive. They are things that we can continue to grow. They aren't limited. They make us stronger. I think the stronger and more vibrant and bigger and more invested we become in the community around tickets and events and sports and concerts, all these things, I think it's going to be a much more powerful opportunity for everybody. So that's my rant. Let me point you to a couple people who are extremely good at doing that today. First, I want to point you towards my friends at Booking Protect. You can check them out at www.bookingprotect.com. Simon, Kat, and the team over at Booking Protect are some of the greatest people that I know. They've been doing a lot of stuff around service and getting people back online, back engaged, making sure that you're taking care of your customers right now. Refund protection is an idea that is going to, if it hasn't already been on top of your mind, I think it's probably going to become more important now. So reach out to Simon and Kat or any of the team at Booking Protect. Check out the blog. We have some stuff that we're going to put up there about how ideas that have changed due to the pandemic, things that are going to help people move forward, all kinds of great stuff at bookingprotect.com. The only reason some of the stuff that I have been working on is not up yet is because I have been trying to finish it up. So blame me if I haven't put anything up there. But there's a really great article about making sure you take care of your customers that Kat posted yesterday. There's a really great article that Sophie put up about building relationships and managing the relationships now from, I think, last week. So just check out the Booking Protect blog. It's great stuff, and it's kind of constantly updating. So check them out. I'd also like to point you towards the We Will Recover website, which is a great initiative put together by Einar and Martin and the Activity Stream team. The We Will Recover platform is a calendar, a education platform, a content home for all kinds of different ideas that will help you and your organization recover from the pandemic, get people back into the buildings, and hopefully get us back to some sense of normality sooner rather than later. The We Will Recover concept and platform has people from all over the world involved, including me, the loudest voice in the room most times, Angela and Joe from the Ticketing Professionals Conference in Australia, like I mentioned, Martin and Einar from Activity Stream and their whole team, Kat and Simon from Booking Protect posted something the other day, Andrew and Carol and all the team at the Ticketing Professionals Conference in the UK, Derek Palmer and all the people at QQ, James, D, all the people at Made Media, and I'm not listing everybody. Every one of these introductions, I try to highlight a few other people, but there's probably 25 organizations that are contributing ideas, contributing content, contributing in some way, shape, or form to the We Will Recover initiative. It's great. As I mentioned before, make sure you get my newsletter. It's a weekly newsletter on Talking Tickets, called Talking Tickets. If you listen to this podcast, this is the newsletter for you, because it's going to take 5 top stories. It's going to give you an analysis on them and some action items so you can draw bigger crowds, make more money, and put yourself in a positive position to recover from the pandemic. So you can get that by visiting my website, which is davewakeman.com. There is a newsletter tab. hit that thing. It'll allow you to sign up for my Sunday newsletter on strategy, the business of value, or talking tickets. You can get both. I'm cool with that, but just check them out. Like I said before, my guest today is Pierre Etter, and he is from TixNGo. TixNGo is a Swiss-based IT company that has a secure mobile ticket wallet. And we talked about a bunch of different things that I think are probably pretty relevant to the conversations that we are having as we come out of the pandemic. We talked about things like fraud, health and safety, revenue, digital platforms, apps, engagement of customers. We talked about blockchain drink, right? That's the joke that I make, as cheesy as it is. We talked about making sure that your organization is proactive. We talked about all kinds of really, really great things. One of the big points that I would make sure that you pay attention to is the part where Pierre and I talk really, we try to get in depth on how you can make data more useful for your organization. Because I know one of the things that we were talking about a lot before the pandemic came was how much data that people have. And the challenge has always been to me is not so much that we have data, it's that we have so much data, but we don't necessarily know how to make the data actionable. We don't know how to make it meaningful for people. So I try to uncover a little bit more of that with Pierre. I don't know, you'll be the judge of how successful or not we were with this, but it's a really good conversation with Pierre Etter from the TixNGo platform out of Switzerland. So let me know what you think. I want to welcome Pierre Etter from TixNGo to the Business of Fun podcast. Pierre, good morning or good afternoon where you are. How's it going?
Good morning, good afternoon to you too. Very well. Thank you for having me today.
Oh, this is going to be fun because you are going to you're going to do a miracle for me. You don't know it yet, but you are. You're going to help me tell people that how to make blockchain seem realistic and not just a bunch of like smoke and mirrors. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to put some real meat and bones on machine learning and blockchain, so that I can be like, well, I know somebody who really knows this stuff. He really makes me look good, and it's Pierre. So I want to start out by asking you something that's really interesting because we were talking about it before the podcast started recording. Right now, Europe's kind of coming out on the other side. There's a little bit of a light at the end of the rainbow as far as the pandemic goes. In America, who knows what we're doing. But we're talking to me about how TixNGo and another product you have, HealthNGo, are able to help give people more security in coming back to stadiums and events. And I know that's like really, really a top priority for people right now, is helping people feel safe and secure. Knowing that you kind of work in both the ticket side and the health side and like getting people into the stadiums, looking at the pandemic, what should people be thinking about right now as they are preparing to put on events with people again?
So thank you for starting the discussion like that. So yes, so first I hope everyone is safe and sound at home with friends and family. And yes, we can see the end of this tragic and very difficult time we live through. And yes, there is technology out there, such as blockchain, that can be leveraged to bring to people more security and more safety and healthy environment. What we've been doing now for 2-3 years is to leverage the mobile technology, the blockchain technology, and the machine learning, like artificial intelligence, to bring to reality 1 million of tickets that have been used through the world, through a lot of sport organizations, museum, festival, and so on. And today we can bring to the world some tools that can help to be safer, to have traceability into who is going to an event. So you can contact these people before, during, and after an event. So you really know 100% of your audience, of your fan, of the people coming to your event, and you can really have a traceability. So this is good for health, of course, but then there is a lot of different interesting points, of course, marketing and security.
Yeah. Now, what was interesting, though, about
the example you shared with me before was you were like, hey, look, Dave, you go to your doctor. Your doctor checks you out, says, hey, you don't have the flu, you don't have the COVID, you don't have anything else that might be transmittable, and they can automatically update your record, and it gets pushed right to your phone, right, in the best way possible. And to me, that seems like, at least in the near term, where we're still maybe trying to pull together a vaccine, or we're still trying to track and trace, cases of COVID, or we're trying to squelch any kind of, hot spots. It would seem like something like that would be really, really a valuable tool to use to help ensure that we can start putting events on, start getting people back to work, making the economy maybe function and the world function a little bit more like normal. Is it that simple, or have I missed something?
So the main solution that we have been deploying and using intensively across the world is TixNGo. It's really a secure mobile ticket wallet. And so looking at the COVID situation, we thought that we could leverage all this knowledge, all this experience through the world with millions of tickets to bring some health certificates. So we made another app called Health and Go, and we right now into some trial, like in the field, with different major laboratories in Europe, and also big corporations that want to try that with their employees to make the workplace a safer place. So how it works is that we use blockchain to generate health certificates. So a patient go to a doctor or to a lab, they get checked with some specimen, and as soon as the laboratory has finished to process the specimen, they can send right away into the mobile device of the person a certificate which is secured by blockchain. So you can really have 100% guarantee that this is not a fake one. This is the real one. And also we are decentralizing all the information, the data, so you have complete confidentiality. You own your own certificate, and this is only on your phone. So you're the only one to have this certificate and to know about it. So it's up to you to share it or not. And this will help people, yes, to have some safer environment. Maybe if you want to take a plane, a boat, if you need to go in your office in some specific area of a building or stuff like that, you can put in place with this tool a safer and healthier environment.
No, that's great, because one of the things that has become a bit of a consistent theme here is I want people to understand that the technology has moved so fast, and it's coming. It's accessible to people, and it's also cost effective. That it's incredible how many cool things you can do with technology now. Because I think sometimes the challenge for people is they hear all these words like blockchain or AI or machine learning, and it seems complicated and expensive. And so hearing you explain it, like that, I think helps people understand that maybe there are opportunities here for tools and technologies, and I just have to know which the right ones to look for. So, so thank you for explaining that. But now I'll move over onto the ticket side, because, most of the people want to hear about tickets. And I like the TixNGo platform that you're working on, because, you do use technology in an interesting way. You do, use AI, blockchain, all these things in a way that I think is valuable to people. What I want, though, to do is I want to ask you to help me explain to the people who are listening, how to make blockchain and AI and machine learning seem simpler. Make it make sense to people, because a lot of times people go to conferences, they read articles on these things, they'll check out a deck or they'll look at something, and they come away more confused than they did before.
Of course.
Yeah,
I can understand. It's very
complicated. So,
but at the end of the day, it's not that complicated. Imagine a decentralized a record of a document, and this document in that case is a ticket. So to make it very simple, so you want to go to a sport event next weekend. So you go online in your usual ticketing favorite place and you buy your online ticket. Then you decide to receive it on your mobile. So you receive an email to confirm the purchase. Thank you for purchasing the ticket, and we invite you to download the app. So the TixNGo app, or maybe it will be a white label to your favorite football team in the US. So you download this app, and as soon as you register, they will match your email address of the purchasing and in the app, and you will receive right away an injected ticket. So in the background, the database where all the tickets are generated and stored are not into a database that could be hacked or whatsoever. It will be distributed into a blockchain infrastructure. So you will receive right away this injected ticket. You can really watch it. You see the picture of the event. You have your seat number, at what time you should go to the gate, to the entrance, and so on. And as soon as you go on the field close to the stadium, there are different options to activate the ticket. It means that the QR code needed to pass the gate will be displayed only at a very specific time, maybe like just 1 hour before the event, or by using some other technology called Bluetooth beacon. Those are small sensors outside the stadium that will tell your device, okay, activate the ticket, please show the QR code. And then you at the gate, someone scan your ticket and let you in, and you have the fun. So now the beauty comes along all this security, this very, very smooth and easy way to have a ticket, is that you can start to transfer this ticket to a friend. And so you will just select the address email of this person you want to transfer the ticket, first name, last name, and boom, the ticket will be transferred over the wallet, over the app to the other person. And the blockchain will record this information. So nobody else will have a duplicate or a counterfeit of your ticket. Imagine you buy the ticket for a U2 concert in London, you take the flight ticket, you check in the hotel, you're very excited, you're at the door of the stadium where U2 will play, and people tell you, oh, sorry, your ticket is a fake one, it's not valid, or someone already came inside with the same ticket, so sorry about that. It's an extremely bad experience. And thanks to the blockchain, we can guarantee the ticket is unique and that you cannot falsify it.
No, I think that's really great, and especially how seamless it is. Because I think that part of the problem for a lot of people is that they feel like this technology is going to be overwhelming for their customer. It's going to present a problem for the customer's going to get confused, or the customer's not going to know how to deal with it. So I think highlighting how simple it is very, very important. But a second aspect of, some of the stuff that we were talking about and I've been looking over and investigating the last couple of weeks is we hear a lot of stuff now about data and big data. Big data is going to save the ticketing industry is what a lot of times people say with their hair on fire. You didn't know you were in for some jokes when you were here. But the problem with data, right, is that I think we're drowning in data in a lot of ways because we have so much data that we don't know exactly what to do with it. But your platform and your approach to data, seems to be a little bit more useful. And so what I want to do is I want to help people kind of understand how to make data a little bit more useful. How to take all this data and use it. Even if they're not dealing with working on the TixNGo platform, but just how do we handle all this data and make it so it's instead of aspirational, it's useful.
Okay, so maybe I will have one question to all the audience of this podcast is, do you know your audience? And I believe the answer is not that much. Like the stats is that one person going to an event buy on average 2.5 tickets for their friends or their family. But at the end of the day, when the event is happening, the organizers of the event does, don't really know who is coming in their place. And so, thanks to the data around the blockchain and every single ticket being in the blockchain, you will be able to know about 100% of all the people coming to your event. And this is a game changer about security, safety around all your events, and of course marketing. To give you some colors, you will be able to target and reach everyone holding a ticket before, during, and after the event. You can also monetize that as marketing qualified lead, because you will know anyone who owns at one point of time a ticket. Even if the person buy a ticket and then transfer it or resell it through the wallet, you will know that this person own a ticket. So you will be able on marketing side to reach them and to target them. Also, additionally, during big event, you have always invitees, you have VIPs, you have sponsors that come to the event, but you don't really know. So you will be also able to know all these people. And on the privacy side, because it's always something that people raise, at the end of the day, we only know your first name, your last name, and your email address. And in Europe, we have something extremely strict about personal data, and we put in place this GDPR. It's a new legal way of protecting any citizen about how people are using the data that they have. So we are GDPR compliant, where we really limit the exposure of all this information. It's encrypted in blockchain, and we can, of course, delete those information per request or after a few days after the event and so on. So it's very safe and GDPR compliant area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But let me ask you this, because one of the challenges, right, is going to be getting your customers and the ticket buyers to comply with this, right? So how do you deal with consumers that are reluctant to, give their data to somebody else, or, don't want you to know who they are? How does that work? Because I think that's a big concern for a lot of people.
So the first thing is that we can guarantee that the data are protected. So we use a lot of the Amazon cloud system aside of the blockchain, and so there is nobody own directly a list of all the people coming to the event. So we protect this information. So as long as you want to go to an event, you will need to have a ticket, and in that case, we just ask you your first name, last name, and email address. So you're not that much exposed in terms of privacy, I believe.
Well, I think maybe I'm asking the question from the angle of, as an American who, maybe we're a little more skeptical of things these days, or maybe I'm just skeptical. I don't know. Blame it on me. But one of the things, it's fair, right? But one of the things that I always talk to people about is because of data, right? What I've found historically is that if you give somebody something of value in return, they will give you their email address. They will tell you who they are. They'll tell you what they like to do. Especially in context of going to an event or going to a ticket, it's, so then when I'm looking at and thinking through this thing, is I'm curious how to, show the value to people of, digital ticketing, and how it's not just well, now I don't get a ticket stub. How does the experience improve for the fan and the customer due to, using a platform like this?
Yeah, so I got the point. So maybe something that you can, the perceived value that you can communicate to your audience is that there will be no longer have fraud. It's very annoying if you go to an event which is sold out. you will have to be outside to deal, negotiate tickets, and the price will be instantly higher than the face value of the ticket. So on the one end, you can say that you will provide a new solution, very smooth, very easy, very clean to use. And at the same time, you can guarantee that they will have the tickets at the best price. That all the transfer, the resell will be somehow controlled by the organizers, where prices will be okay. So I think to tell to people just use a blockchain technology for your ticket will make it safer and will eliminate fraud. That's already a first point. Another point is that you will tell them that they will be able very easily to transfer the ticket to a friend and to resell it into a secondary marketplace. So using the app, you will be able to find a new buyer and to transfer very easily the ticket to this new person. And so it will be a very clean exchange between the ticket and the money that will be controlled. So you won't have, you will never have a bad surprise. So these are, I believe, arguments that we should explain to the end user in case they feel embarrassed to share first name, last name, and email address. Maybe the other things that will provide the mobile ticket is that they will be able to have some last minute seating changes if they go with a group or with some fan at the last minute. Because of the digital ticket, it will be much more easier to change the attribution of seats at the last minute. They will be able to in case of cancellation of an event because of bad weather or whatsoever, there will be also a much more easier way to reschedule the event, or to get a voucher back, or to get paid back. There are different advantage that the end user will understand that this will make its life easier, better, and that the experience of the event will be much nicer and smoother.
Yeah. Now, and I probably belabored that a little bit just because it opens the door for me to talk about one of my favorite subjects, which is money and revenue. So knowing all this, right, encouraging people to go digital, having access to data and more relevant data even is, to me, sort of the holy grail people are looking for. Because if I understand people very well, my background, I started out in nightclubs, and I understood. And the most valuable question in the world for me was always, what kind of gin do you prefer? Because we learned that question alone was worth about a $250,000 a year in scot-free revenue. How does having using data wisely, driving people to mobile tickets, how does that create new revenue opportunities for folks? Because I know the answer, but I want somebody else to tell everybody the answer. Because I tell people all the time about making money.
So yes, I have good news. so yes, to stop
news, money.
Yeah. So first to stop printing expensive tickets. Like one of our clients, UEFA, they are the leading organization for soccer over Europe. They have millions of spectators every year. It's a massive industry. They have very expensive paper tickets, and I think the cost was about €1, so like something like $1.1 US. To print them, to ship them, and so on. And so you move right away to mobile, where it's clean, it's dynamic. You can reassign seats, you can transfer them like instantly, and for no cost somehow. So that's the first point. No more printing and paper shipment. Another one was on the marketing side, I mentioned before. So being able to know about 100% of the audience coming to your event. We made an average of data acquisition of one highly qualified lead around 20 to 50 euros per person. So let's say 22 US dollars to 55 US dollars. And this is massive saving. And then there is all the monetization, because you will be able to engage with your people. You will know all your audience, and thanks to your phone, you'll be able to target them before, during, and after the event on the app, on your app. If it's your own branded app, you will be able to engage with them, to communicate them. Please get a season pass. Get a hot dog and a beer at the break. You will be able to give them discount prices for parking lot, or any kind of engagement with them. And of course, then you will be able to connect your own app to all your social media on Facebook, Twitter, and so on, where you will be able to have all your audience to post, to publish, to interact with each other. So there are plenty of impact on the money side. Also, looking at the application. Yes, please.
Potentially stupid question, and maybe if it's stupid, it's me. But so you were talking about if you have your own app and you use the app and in a way that like you integrate all the social media, all the different touch points that you have. Can you you can reward people, right? Like you can give them, like if you do, let's say, post to Twitter, or you take a photo and you put it up on the Instagram. Like you can know who this is. It's attached, and you can give them a reward, right? Just like the same as like maybe going to like the grocery club and you have your grocery card, or going to like your member rewards at the movie theater or something like that. Or am I overreaching?
No. So this is like out of the scope of TixNGo. So TixNGo at the end of the day is just let's say a printer of tickets. Using the blockchain, the artificial intelligence, but at the end, what we do is just printing the more safe ticket that is out there. Now, this solution, TixNGo, can be integrated into the app of different organizers. And so this will be the organizer's job to develop their own app and to really connect the users of their app to their social media. So it will be up to the organizers to provide those kind of reward if the app user is posting a picture on social media and so on. But this is a bit outside TixNGo scope. What we will offer them is to know every single owner of a ticket, and that's the big advantage, where you will more than double your database of fans.
Okay, yeah, and that helps you. Like you said, it cuts your customer acquisition costs in a lot of cases between $20 and $50 American.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, which is a huge savings. And then think of how much that is, right? If you sell 1 million tickets a year, you're talking about some real money.
Definitely, it's and people are getting more and more comfortable with the digitalization of everything that we do socially. So to bring them a better fan experience or around your event is very important. People are now more and more expecting to have something a tool like an app to get the information they need to know the exact schedule, where is the seat. There is maybe a map seat of the stadium where you want to go. You can connect easily to pay your parking, to get the food and drinks during the break, stuff like that. So people are more and more expecting this kind of solution. So it's all into one. You're just adding some more security around your tickets and all the data intelligence around it.
Yeah, and you brought up something earlier about how the beacons will activate the ticket as you get closer to the to the venue, right? And I've been aware, and I think everybody's slightly aware of beacons, but then I also don't necessarily always see beacons used very well. How precise are these beacons? Just so people understand how powerful they can be.
Okay, so actually it's a pretty common technology now that is being used widely into big event places such as stadium. So there are different distance, like perimeters around the stadium where you put them. And so it will be a few meters, so like a couple of feet, where you get close to your phone with the Bluetooth activated, and those transmitter will tell your device to activate the ticket, to transform in for a simple picture of the event to the actual QR code, which will be scanned. We can also have manual Bluetooth activators. So it's pretty common. I would say, a few feet away. That's the distance where the ticket will get activated. So nothing particular here to say.
Yeah, well, and the thing that was interesting to me was that I think you've created this platform and you use it in a way that's like it's really exact. Like you could say, you can have it. How do I want to describe it so that I don't sound like a complete moron here? It's to the point where the technology is so advanced and so great in the way that it's used that it can prompt me to order from a specific vendor just because there's a shorter line at the thing, or that it can help guide me to my seat. And it's all these great things which, when you use these technologies wisely, create a better fan experience and more money for people.
Yes.
And so I'm trying to get, that's the point I'm trying to make for people. It's like, it's really there. You can do it. It's totally great.
But indeed, that's indeed another argument to like a USP to tell to people. Yes, you will have a smoother entrance to the stadium. We can activate tickets per sector, so we can say we want to have the most fluid way possible, people coming in and out of the stadium. So you can really activate different tickets per section inside the stadium as you wish to optimize the flow. So yes, it will be even a nicer walk to your seat. So
yeah. And one example that I think we should highlight, which is a really great, strong selling proposition for any of the digital ticketing tools, especially the ones that have like a barcode that rotates or, only gets activated so closely, as you brought up the example of, let's say you have a concert that maybe isn't selling as well, and you have a group of people, and you can move those people pretty easily to better seats without them ever even knowing it until they get to the venue, because they're like going, these seats are totally fine, and then all of a sudden they're looking at their ticket because, you had some inventory open up. All of a sudden they've been rewarded, and that could be a valuable selling point, and it creates a better experience for people, and it's really cost effective and simple.
Exactly, yes. So you will be able to optimize your offer and provide a much better experience to all your audience. Also in the UK, they have an issue sometimes, like there is an average of 10% of no-show to some soccer game. And so there will be also a way for the organizers to look into this data and to optimize the sale of these tickets. So maybe a very few minutes before the show starts, they will be able to fulfill those 10% no show. So there are plenty of the list is very long of additional benefits that to have tickets on blockchain and to have them purely digital. So you know your audience, and in a safe way, you own your own secondary marketplace. You decide the rules, and the fan at the end of the day have a much better experience, connected, and so yes, it's very good. And again, there has been now millions of tickets using TixNGo. And it's getting very good, and the feedback we have, it's pretty awesome. We're very happy.
Yeah, I want a question, and if I'm overstepping my bounds here, you let me know. But one of the case studies I think that I saw, and again, this is like if I have it wrong, you tell me. But I think you work with Ajax, the football club in is it Amsterdam? Is that right?
Yeah, this is correct.
Ahead.
This is a big club here in Europe, and that's one specific case where they have their own application, and so they use all the functionalities of TixNGo using APIs. So now we're getting a bit technique, but so they developed their own app, which is great. I invite you to download it, the Ajax app, and so they connect all by API. So it's a protocol of communication when you ask a request, and you are able to use all the functionalities of TixNGo with the blockchain ticketing through another app. So that's one way of using TixNGo. Aside the native app and the white label app, you can use API to use the functionalities.
Yeah, and do you have any examples of, like, I'll call them wins, from that Ajax has achieved due to, like, taking the technology and applying it in in this way, using the full capabilities of the blockchain and machine learning and digital ticketing. Is there anything like that you can point to as like something that was really cool that they learned?
There is something that they really like is a new feature using machine learning. So we are able to trace in real time and over time the distribution of every single ticket per endpoint. Endpoints being a mobile device. Somehow you sell 100,000 tickets, and then you are able to see the distribution if someone transfer a ticket from one mobile phone to another person's mobile phone. And so with that intelligence, we put some behavior analysis where we are able to identify, of course, the good guy, but the suspicious people who could be, we name them collectors of tickets, harvesters, or trade hubs, meaning that we identify one mobile device that does a lot of in and out transaction of tickets. And knowing that, you will tell me, but it's easy, just block those people because they have kind of the black market that we want to fight again. But if you block them like that, they will right away get another phone and start to continue their dark business. So what we do in several clubs is to, for some of the games, there is kind of a lottery to win a ticket or to win the chance to buy a ticket to go to those specific event. And so what we do is we slightly decrease the probability of winning a ticket. And so we make the life much more difficult for these people to get tickets. So somehow they don't feel like they've been identified doing their bad business, but we just make their life more difficult. So it's a very sweet spot with machine learning that we are able to do. So as you can see, it's very advanced analysis of the data. We keep privacy of people, but we can put in place some safer actions that will make all the fans happier, and they will have a much better way of getting tickets and getting to a show.
I like the way you just described that to me too, because what it is you and I'm again, I tell everybody all the time, if I say something on here, it comes from me. It doesn't come from anybody else. But you are trolling the people who are doing the stuff, doing activities that you don't want that the ticket seller doesn't want them to do. And instead of just like blocking them and giving them an opportunity, you're trolling them and making things more difficult and more expensive for them. So it's like a double win.
Yeah, you have to adapt. Of course, the digital is bringing more opportunities, but there is more complexity into it. And I think with this very innovative machine learning solution, we really have a super sweet spot, which guarantee every fan to have a ticket at the right price. So I think it's a win-win. Yeah.
And let me ask you too about this, because this is going to be something that the people listening to the podcast are probably going to be interested in. Something like that, a solution like that sort of, it identifies somebody who maybe has a trade history or is doing things that you don't want done to your tickets. How difficult is that, something like that, to put in place?
Also, so first of all, like any clubs, any sport clubs, or have their own database of hooligans or like people that they don't want to go to their event, to their location. So what we can do is TixNGo, so we have different level of securities that you can implement. Mm-hmm. And so security number one is just to identify everyone by the email, first name and last name, and then to activate the ticket time base. Also on the ticket, you have some moving element. There is a clock, like a real-time clock in the center of the QR code. There's an infinite sight also moving below to see on the display that this is a real and active ticket. Security level 2 is to add potentially the picture of the person who purchased the ticket in case the transfer or the resale is not allowed. But this is up to the organizer to decide. We can also put some random ID check if you want. Like 1 out of 10 people get their ID check. If you want to make sure this is the right person that owned the ticket. And finally, the Bluetooth beacon, as mentioned before. And the level 3, the level 3 is to rely on a third-party identity management provider. So yes, we can connect to this hooligan database that a sport club has, as mentioned before, and we can really make sure that we allow or not to certain people to be able to get a ticket or to get at the event. So yes, we can really connect all this data from organizer to the ticketing and the ticket systems.
So, I guess for people to understand, it's not complicated and it's not uber expensive anymore.
So the tool is super smooth. You buy a ticket, download the app, you get your ticket injected, the ticket gets activated, you get inside the stadium. It's super fluid. And for the organizer, they already have a ticketing solution when people are going online to buy the tickets. So instead of emailing a PDF with a QR code or whatsoever, you press another button and it will be sent to the app. It's as transparent as that. And in between the two words, there is just a very few APIs that are doing the communication, the transactions between both systems. And then in the backend of TixNGo, but this you don't need to take care of it. There is all this blockchain, machine learning system that make your ticket like super safe, super easy to transfer or to resell. And also you get the knowledge of your audience, who's coming to your audience at 100%. So it's pretty neat. And you can monetize on top of that. You can connect to any existing application. So yes, it's really a no-brainer. You gain security, dynamic agility in all your processes and operation, and you have something pretty neat to share with your fans.
No, I think it's great, and one of the things that I have been really trying to make a point of making lately with people is that a lot of these tools are very much user friendly now, and that the ability to use them is much simpler than you think, because to be realistic, everybody's overwhelmed. Everybody's super busy, and a lot of times creating change or doing something a little differently has a higher perception of time and money investment than maybe is realistic. Or like the cost to benefit is greater than they might imagine. And so, I really wanted to highlight that, like something like this, these solutions exist, and they are, they don't add a huge heavy burden to your workload, and or they might not be as expensive or as costly as you think, or the savings might be more, or the cost might be more than made up for with either savings or new revenue that you're able to create for yourself.
Yes, and actually you could start semi-automated ticketing API injection today. Like right away you could use the product. It's a very intuitive and easy to use TixNGo application onto the administrator console. And then for the full automation through advanced API connected to your system to streamline all operation, it will be like a couple of weeks of implementation, and then you're good to go. It's pretty powerful, and now thanks to the technology with bricks using APIs, you can really have something extremely powerful with not that much development on your side. So yeah, I think it's where everyone will go soon. On that, the old piece of paper that has been duplicated 2 or 3 times, resold and stuff like that will be history.
Yeah, and here's the thing, because a lot of my gig is how to make more money. It's like also it's a new revenue opportunity, because if you don't print out a ticket, you can create souvenir tickets that people can buy that pay for. I mean, come on, does it get any better than that?
Yeah,
I mean, come on. When I go to Euro 2021 next year and sit with you, I'm going to get the commemorative ticket, Pierre. That's it.
Yeah.
When I go to the Champions League final, Pierre, I'm getting the souvenir ticket that I'm happy to pay for.
Yeah, I will get you the magnet for your fridge. Don't worry about it.
Exactly right. Exactly. So, where do I point people? Where can people find you and find all the stuff that you're working on?
Oh, it's pretty easy. It's like TixNGo, so TixNGO .io. That's our website. I'm Pierre Etter, Etter. You can find me on LinkedIn. Anytime, I'll be happy to understand your specific needs and to explain to you how good could the TixNGo solution help you out.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for doing the podcast today.
But thank you so much for having me, Dave. I had a great time, and I'm very happy to share these new solutions and options that are out there. Millions of people have been using it, and very happy, very smooth and secure. So happy to share all that with you all. So thank you.
There was my conversation with Pierre Etter from TixNGo. Let me know what you think. Send me an email. It's dave@davewakeman.com. As I was mentioning before the podcast, make sure you check me out by visiting my website. It's davewakeman.com, where you can find my blog. You can sign up for my newsletter, Talking Tickets, which if you listen to this podcast at all, it's probably the newsletter for you. It's 5 top stories each week, along with some analysis and some action items to help you make more money, help you drive more attendance, and help you recover from the pandemic. Make sure that you check out the We Will Recover initiative. This is a great thing set up by Martin and Einar from ActivityStream, along with their entire team. I can't name all of them, but they're fantastic people. And one of these days when I'm able to travel again, I am going to go to Copenhagen, and we are going to have a big fiesta because they are such great people. The We Will Recover initiative is global in its scope. People from all over the world are contributing, including me, Mr. Loudmouth himself. Including James and the team at Made Media, Derek and the team from QQ, Andrew and Carol from TPC UK, Kat and Simon from Booking Protect have contributed, and Angela and Joe from the Ticketing Professionals Conference in Australia, to name just a few. Like I said, there's maybe 25 organizations or more from around the world contributing articles, webinars, ideas to help you make more money, recover faster and more quickly, help create security around when events return, all these things. So make sure you check it out. It's at wewillrecover.live. And then finally, I want to thank Booking Protect. They have been longtime partners. Simon and Kat are 2 of the greatest people I know. The entire Booking Protect team is fantastic. There's a bunch of content that is going up around recovery, relationships, helping you get back online after the pandemic. If you haven't thought about refund protection before, I'm sure that this is something that maybe you have thought about now. So check them out at bookingprotect.com. Click over to the blog. There's tons and tons of great content coming up. We are working on some stuff around lessons that people have learned during the pandemic, ideas that people are going to take forward because of this. Things about recovery, things about revenue, and a whole lot of stuff on helping you recover from the pandemic. Kat just put up a really great article yesterday about making sure you treat your customers well during the pandemic that I think you should all check out. So check them out at bookingprotect.com. As I always say at the end of this, and I truly, truly mean this, thank you so much for listening. The people who connect with me and the ideas that people share with me and tell me, they mean so much to me, and it's really, really great to have been able to get back and talk to you over the last couple weeks. So like I mentioned at the very start, if anybody wants to talk, chat, just check in and let me know how you're doing. Send me an email. It's dave@davewakeman.com. And until next time, thank you so much. Take it easy.